In the backstory, I describe the tale of the catastrophic fate of the Essex, stove in by an enraged 85-foot sperm whale in the mid-Pacific, as the legend that was chiefly responsible for inspiring the final apocalyptic chapters of Moby Dick. Melville was sufficiently fascinated with the role whaling had played in the unfolding of this event that he turned a whaler, the Pequod, into the agent and the setting for his epic response to the archive of received history and myth. Whaling was one of the most advanced capitalist industries in the 19th century. Whalers earned millions of dollars for the new republic and supported its influence across the globe. After timber, whale oil was the United States' most lucrative export. Yankee whalers traded in the oil that lit up the city streets of London, Berlin, Paris, and fired up the machinery of the Industrial Revolution. Whaling was also extremely dangerous, and with the exception of slavery, the most disreputable business on the high seas. A single voyage on board a whaler might last as many as 5 years to God knows where. Crew members whose wages depended upon the ship's profits often returned to their native ports owing the ship's owners for food and board. But the Pequod was not merely a factor in the whaling industry. As a joint stock company, the ship was also a finance-dominated regime of accumulation in which the evaluation of future profits was the decisive variable. Ahab did not bind his whaling crew to himself by way of a contractual agreement. When he broke the contract with the ship's owners, Ahab transgressed the laws of the mercantilist market as well as the whaler's law that says any healthy whale encountered must be hunted without choosing one over the other. After Ahab changed the terms of the crew's contract, he effectively leveraged the Pequod's joint stock company's economic motives to a mission of vengeance that endowed the economic risk involved in whale hunting with a militantly moral foundation. In doing so, Ahab effectively turned the Pequod into a war machine. Ahab's finance military complex was underwritten by a potlatch logic, general expenditure, the willingness to sacrifice absolutely everything in the pursuit of Moby Dick. This bioeconomic logic became so implicated with the restricted exchanges with which the Pequod negotiated with the modern capitalist order that it threatened to consume everything in a disaster beyond recuperation. Finance capital installs speculation at the very core of production. In place of self-interest and rational expectations, the operative collective emotions financial capitalism fosters include belief, faith, apprehension. Ahab's aspiration to uncover the value of values within all creation was founded upon a principle of crisis-ridden, financialized desire. His drive to push beyond limits was predicated on his desire to devalue life. Ahab's drive transformed Ishmael's and the rest of the crew's melancholia into his psychic resources for militant mission. The crew's frenzied desire to avenge Ahab's accident involved them in non-normalizable apocalyptic practices of preemption and catastrophic risk. Melville considered what happened to the Essex a horrific accident. But hasn't he turned Moby Dick into an epic revelation of whaling's contribution to a catastrophic truth event? Namely, the inauguration of the financial military regime of global modernity that began with the great whaler's entry into the maritime empire of commerce in the 19th century. And as those whalers circulated through archipelagos of circumoceanic port cities, facilitated market revolutions, the massive collateralizing of networks of finance, goods, and people, which culminated in the global war on terror in the 21st century.